The iPhone is the most selfish necessity ever devised. Believe it. Once we used a telephone to talk to someone. Technology has put in the hand and soon on the nose the most constant, the most incessant, the most accessible, the most visual, private world of self-centered indulgence and temptation that humanity's ever known. You choose your music, you choose your teachers, you choose your entertainment, you choose your Facebook friends, and like God, you become the creator of your world. And you consign the world that you reject to the outer darkness of cyberspace that doesn't invade your private creation. Your little private creation's whatever you want, and it omits whatever you reject. And the force of temptations and the facility with which you can indulge yourself in them and no one knows is devastating to fellowship. Carl Trueman was writing about this, and he said the language of friendship is hijacked and cheapened by the internet social networks. Facebook friends. I believe this is part also of the juvenilization of the church because this is childish. Selfishness is the most clear evidence of childishness. And the younger the child is, the more selfish it is. This is the juvenilization of the church, or part of it. Carl Trueman says the language of Facebook both reflects and encourages childishness. Childishness, he says, is a textually transmitted disease. By the way, you might want to know this, the latest survey, the average high school student is on the internet 9 hours a day. Average high school student. And think about that as a pastor trying to create a fellowship with the next generation. Carl Trueman says, such are human amoebas, subsisting in a bizarre non-world that involves no risk to themselves, no giving of themselves to others, no true vulnerability, no commitment, no sacrifice, no real meaning or value. He says they are self-created avatars. And real fellowship doesn't exist in that world. Let me say it simply, Christianity is not a private experience. Privacy devastates Christianity. The rapid trend is heading to the norm of people creating their own virtual world and virtual self, and then projecting their own virtual self, the illusion. They can upload the new creation into the Eden of the internet after they've created themselves. I tweet, therefore I am. And this is who I am. The perfect, indomitable me, self-actualized, like some technologically created science of mind projection. One writer in Reformation 21 magazine said, the culture is becoming more isolated, consumeristic, narcissistic, self-absorbed, individualistic, morally relative, and entitled. That's tough on fellowship. The evangelical church, for decades, has been trying to give the culture what the culture wants. And what it wants, says this article, is privacy, convenience, low commitment, anonymity, unaccountability, and self-actualization. Just deadly to fellowship. That's why megachurches are stage shows in a dark building. Nothing going on between the people sitting in the dark. We can't keep this out of the church, especially when we're so committed to trying to give the culture what it wants in the name of evangelism. Church life is falling victim to the seductive self-design. I read several articles this last week, and this was kind of the bottom line. I can't find a church I like. I can't find a church I like. By the way, attendance in most megachurches is on the decline. So what you're going to have, and the trend is, that people will belong to the first church of iTunes. That there will be church planters, and they will plant their own church with one member. You have your music, your teachers, your messages, and your friends. I think now either the first or second largest church in America is an online church. There are churches that now have a Facebook wall. And I read another advertisement by a church, join an e-group. This is the trend. Oh, at a real church, you might have to face an enemy. At a real church, you might have to sit next to somebody disgusting. At a real church, you might hear a message from a preacher who doesn't say what you want to hear. And worst of all, you might have to sing an old hymn in 4/4 time led by a senior citizen. Can you imagine? Unthinkable. Inconceivable. That would be way too much for your self-created world. That's outside your self-actualization. For many, entitlement to their own view dominates. All information, all experience, all relationships are based upon their own defined entitlement. That rules out truth, accuracy, credibility, rationality, sacrifice, deferred gratification, and meaningful relationships. I read just yesterday, Louis Giglio with the Passion Church said young millennials are leaving church but going toward Jesus. That's too bad. Church is unnecessary. If you do go, it's sporadic. You go to hear something that fits your world or gets close, but you're probably going to not like something, and so you're going to maybe drift away to your own self-planted church.